With the looming presence of Russia and specifically Dagestan's greatest export, Khabib Nurmagomedov, still being felt throughout the world of mixed martial arts, I've noticed in recent times that something odd is happening with the UFC's Russian contingent. Now, I'm not one to read too much into unexplainable patterns or try to claim anything as otherworldly, but in the current statuses of the four most bankable Russian stars in the UFC right now, to say that we're looking at something of a weird pause would be putting it lightly. The bantamweight champion Petr Yan lost his belt in the oddest of circumstances. Islam Makhachev might be the most avoided fighter in the sport today, unable to find his way into the octagon with the step up in competition his career desperately needs. I do believe that both Yan and Makhachev will overcome these hurdles and find their way back towards greatness, leading the way as part of what I personally see as a major incoming wave of Russian MMA elite fixtures. And while I know that guys like Askar Askarov, Magomed Ankalaev, Movsar Evloev, and Muslim Salikov are all making their own waves, for this video I wanted to follow the futures of the two budding stars who are at something of a crossroads in their career. A pair of fighters who have indeed been pegged for greatness, but who have both had their fighting futures cast into doubt in recent times. Both Zabit Magomedsharipov and Khamzat Chimaev have been seen by many as real problems for their respective divisions. Zabit at 145 pounds, and Khamzat at either 170 or 185 pounds. And though like Yan and Makhachev they all hail from different regions, call different places home, given Russia's strong past in producing legends of this sport, I am quite excited by this new wave of modern fighters who call Russia their home. There is something brewing in the Russian nation, and like the eras that have been dominated by Brazilians and Americans in the past, it does seem as though Russia is about to step up in a big way and become this era's hotbed for MMA champions. And I think with an eye on the featherweight contender Zabit Magomedsharipov, as far as I was concerned, all signs seemed to point to his emergence as a real threat to one of the sport's most hotly contested titles before too long. It does seem as though Zabit has been knocking on the door of the featherweight top 5 for years now, and in reality he has. But with his signature victories coming over Jeremy Stephens and Calvin Kattar, it's pretty clear that his promise or his potential has outgrown the strength of his resume so far. And that's not a dig at Zabit, but more of a testament to how excited we all are to see this clearly gifted athlete make good on his talents. I know he's got cardio problems, but I do think that this guy is one refined performance away from re-establishing everything we think we know about his ceiling. With a level of creativity and dynamism that just isn't normal for a man that well-rounded, I do think that Zabit can find a way to bring it all together in a manner that makes him a more suitable addition to the top flight. Or at least I hope that he can, given what we recently learned about his future. According to reports, Magomedsharipov, after a 2-year stint on the sidelines, is questioning his commitment to the sport, seemingly unmotivated by the prospect of continuing his career as a mixed martial artist. The same reports tell us that he's set to sit out for at least a few more months after an ongoing set of health problems, supposedly surrounding his immune system. Now, whether the problem with Zabit is physical, mental, or a combination of both, with his future uncertain and an appearance in 2021 looking increasingly unlikely, I can't help but be frustrated that we haven't seen this guy continue to blossom before our very eyes, that he hasn't been given that ascending degree of competition, showing us more about his merits as a potential future champion. If you're enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe to the channel now to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads, before leaving a comment to let YouTube's algorithms know that we're fast becoming one of the best MMA channels on the platform. And in mirroring Zabit's own issues, Khamzat Chimaev's roadblocks seem to be just as worrying. After being struck with a particularly nasty bout of COVID-19, as we all know, Khamzat's originally scheduled showdown with the number 3 ranked welterweight Leon Edwards was called off, leaving Edwards to take on Nate Diaz at UFC 263. But for Chimaev, who was well and truly one of the breakout stars of 2020, things took a bad turn as he, both according to himself and Dana White, continued to train in spite of his sickness, putting him in a particularly bad state, something that led to a premature retirement tweet. In reality, Khamzat was upset and in a dark place at the time, and after some persuasion from his teammates and the Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov, he later went back on his retirement. What's interesting though is Khamzat's major potential to be a star. Regardless of any of our opinions on Kadyrov as such a huge and influential figure within the Chechen Republic, given how his relationship with Khabib has now gone sour, Kadyrov looks to take Khamzat in as the flagship star of the MMA revolution that is ongoing in his region. Not only does Khamzat have the backing of his people, but globally, Chimaev's attitude towards fighting, his multi-divisional hopping, his willingness to compete on short notice, combined with his destructive fighting style, it makes me think that this guy could be an absolutely huge asset for the UFC, both commercially and competitively. Basically what I'm trying to say is that the table has been laid for Khamzat's return. It's quite rare that we see a fighter garner such attention, both inside and outside of the octagon, at such an early stage. Again, the mess involving himself, Khabib, and Kadyrov is a side story to all of this, but in terms of the potential of this guy as a breakthrough sensation, I've been watching this man's career with some real interest since he debuted. So yeah, the Russian wave that we've all been promised has hit a few stumbling blocks, issues that will likely put the whole thing on halt for a while. But for me personally, I like calling these big overarching narratives as they happen. MMA is a sport that moves in waves, and honestly, there has been something brewing in Russia for quite some time. So I'm pretty interested to see how it all plays out. But what do you think of Khamzat and Zabit as future contenders in their respective divisions? Or do you even think we'll see either man compete this year? Do let us know in the comments section below. We always love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and a comment before subscribing to the channel so you can stay up to date with all of our latest uploads. Thank you for watching.